faith and a lesson understanding that not everything is going your way and how things are sometimes unpredictable. And yet, we are supposed to do our best, to have faith, to be optimistic. Let's start with a little song here again, just to get us in the right attitude. So let's start with some nice Hasidic song. Let's see. All right, maybe before we start with the Hasidic song, I want to welcome you, all of you. I was thinking, so many of us are so following, we are worried, we want to know what's going to happen. I read somewhere that 56% of people that answered some survey said that election night of 2020 is the most stressful day of their life. And I thought to myself, this is crazy. 56% of people are looking at this day and they're so stressed out about it, and they're so nervous, and they're wondering what it's going to be. So we have to break that stress and try to bring some faith, maybe take a break away from following the news, from following anyways, it doesn't matter if you're going to follow the news very closely or not. The results are going to be announced anyways. The numbers, the ballots are going to be counted. So we can talk some Torah. We're going to watch together some Hasidic music, which hopefully is going to bring some peace and calm to you, to everyone that is watching it. And hopefully we're going to have a good time together. You know, a few hours ago, as I was preparing for this webcast, my phone rang. And usually the phone tells you if there's like a scam, right? It says scam likely. This time it did not say any scam likely, so I picked up the phone. I think it was like a 201 number, even like looks like a local number. I pick up the phone and there's like this robocall that says your Social Security has been suspended. And from the Social Security Administration because of fraudulent activity in Texas. And if you want to restore your Social Security, you must press 1. And I decided to have fun with it because why not? I guess I was anyways nervous about tonight and to make sure everything should work the way it should work. So I pressed 1 and I was connected to a live agent. And the live agent, I was just, in the mood of like playing a game. So I started pretending as if I'm crying. I can't believe it, my Social Security card, my Social Security number has been suspended. And the person on the other side of the line was very interesting. I did not know what to expect. But he started laughing and tells me, are you laughing or are you crying? And I told him, no, for sure I'm crying. I'm so sad. My Social Security has been suspended. What am I supposed to be doing? And he's like keeping on going. Are you laughing, sir? Is this funny? Are you crying? What exactly are you doing? And then I switched the tone of voice and I told him, sir, why are you guys doing it? Why are you sending these messages and expecting to scam me out of money? It's not nice. And the person was quiet and he tells me, you are right. It's not nice. I completely did not expect that type of answer. And I told him, you're not going to get a penny out of me, obviously, but you're going to take money of older people that need this money, and they're going to believe you, and you're going to scam them out of whatever they have. Don't you feel bad about it? I completely did not expect this conversation to happen because other times when I was trying to talk to scammers, I ended up having with someone hang up the phone. But this person tells me, I'm thinking sometimes about it, but what else can I do? So I said, maybe find yourself a different job that you. And I asked him, tell me, sir, where are you located? He told me, I'm in Pakistan. I said, is that for real? Are you telling me the truth, or are you just telling me a story? He says, no, I'm very serious. Now, of course, I have no way to know if it's true or not. For all I know is, obviously, he's lying to me right there. He had a foreign accent. I told him which city. He did not want to tell which city is. I told him, do you believe in God? are you a practicing Muslim? He told me yes. And I shared with him about my mechanic, my car mechanic, a wonderful fellow, actually two partners in Rockland County. Actually, just this morning, I was there to bring a car for repair. Very trustworthy people. They know their job, doing a fantastic job, really good people. And they're both coming from Pakistan as well. And I told them, I want to tell you about my car mechanic. He's from Pakistan. He's Pakistani. And he came to America. He came here. He came about 20 years ago and he's working really hard and invested a lot of time and effort. And he had this beautiful car dealership. So many people, is known to be very trustworthy in the area. And so many people come to him, why won't you do something like that? And then I told him, if you believe in God, this is what I suggest you do. Pray to God, say, God, I don't want to continue what I'm doing. I don't want to continue to scam older people out of the money. I'm going to let go of this job and I'm going to look for a different job and to earn an honest living. And with that, I finished the conversation. It was kind of like very emotionally charged conversation to speak with this person. I was very, very curious what he's going to think about it and whether this conversation is going to create a change in his life. Who knows? He's not going to call me back and say, hello, I'm the scammer from Pakistan. I want to let you know that I stopped being a scammer, right? Ain't happening so fast. But that led me to think about the entire topic of faith, because plenty of people make a big mistake and they think that if you are a person of faith, that makes you a passive person, right? If I have faith, so everything should be okay. If I have faith, that a friend of mine told me that he posted something on Facebook and social media about the election, and he mentioned God, and someone got really, really angry with him and said, oh, why are you mentioning God over here? It's not God, we have to go, we have to vote. And 100% sure, it's just true. We have to engage, we have to vote, we have to fulfill our duty. And I believe it's very much of a Torah concept that whenever you have an opportunity to influence, you have to use that opportunity. If you have a potential to make an impact, you have to make an impact. Kind of like very much, Torah all the time is about empowering the person to do. We came here to this world, the world was created so we can make the world a better place in any which way possible. It can be in a way of us using our talents and us using our potential and influencing others, teaching others, inspiring our families and so on. But same thing when it comes to election. We have to think who is the better person that we believe is better for our country and vote for that person. But does God have anything to play with the election? Where is that faith and God work together? Does being a person of faith mean saying, oh, anyways, God decides everything which is going to happen, so I can simply go to sleep and not worry about it? And that's a big mistake, because it's not the case at all. It's not true at all, and actually quite the opposite. The famous joke how there's this person that prayed to God for many, 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 many times. And he said to God, God, please make me win the lottery. Make me win the lottery. I want to win the lottery. Please, I want to win the Mega Million. And the angels got so fed up with this guy. And one time they told God, God, please make him win the lottery. And God said, I will, but there's a problem. He never buys a lottery ticket. So how can I make him win the lottery? So the concept of faith is actually, there is a verse that says, Hashem Elokecha b'chol asher ta'aseh. God is blessing you in everything that you are going to do. In other words, if you're expecting God's blessing, you must do something about it. Let's say if someone is not feeling well. So they can say, oh, well, God will decide if I live or not, right? Why should I do anything about it? No, 100% not. God says there is a mitzvah, actually, to go to the doctor and find out what's wrong. And if the doctor prescribes medicine, to take that medicine. And if the doctor says to do other things, to take and follow his advice, his or her advice, it's a mitzvah to do that. If you were looking for work, we can say, well, God can bring us money anyways, right? I can just sit at home and just money will land somehow, and then the food and everything that they need will come. No, it's not what God is saying. God is saying, B'chol asher ta'aseh, you are supposed to do it. If someone is looking for a spouse and says, well, if God is is going to find the right person. So then, right, I'm going to go somewhere and then I'm going to bump into the right person and then magically I'm going to find my bashet and everything is going to be good. No, it's not what God is telling us. God is telling us we're supposed to do, we're supposed to look for action, we're supposed to do everything that we can, and then He is going to give the blessing in what we are doing. So we're really supposed to do everything that we can. Not only that, if we are not fully doing what God is telling us, which is to do, we're not fully engaged in whatever we are trying to accomplish. We have to put our entire efforts and do everything that we can. We are kind of like missing the point. So I think the best way to summarize it is faith is about God is saying, you do the best, you do your best, and I will do the rest. So I think all of us today did the best, and now we're going to let God do the rest. And that means that whatever happens, let's pray to God that it's going to be good for our country, that we are going to have good results. I'm going to have some music today. I'm going to start today with one, relatively speaking, new video. It's a beautiful song. I'll give you the background for the song after the song. It's a song and the verse that we are saying in Tehillim and also every morning in the morning service, Shacharit. And the song is kind of like trying to bring the culture of a chassid. What does a chassid, life of a chassid looks like? So you're going to see, first of all, preparation for prayer, which is supposed to be something, it's supposed to be taken very seriously, to learn and to prepare mentally for the moment of prayer, because prayer should not be only something that is being just said as a ritual, right? It's funny, when you say you mentioned the word prayer, so for different people, it means different things. For people that are not religious and not used to the idea of saying prayers regularly, so for them, prayer means I'm praying to God because I need something, I'm expressing my whatever I need, I'm asking God for my needs. If you're religious and you're praying 1 time a day, 3 times a day, 2 times a day, a lot of times you're going to fall into the trap of just saying the text. Now, obviously, if you open the prayer book, this exact text you're supposed to say every time for the morning prayer, for the afternoon prayer. And that text is very important, actually. It was composed by the Great Assembly many, many years ago, Great Assembly of 120 rabbis. And they put together a list of all of the needs of a human being. And the reason why they put it together is because they realize that if you're letting people to do the entire prayer on their own, not always they know what's good for them, not always they know how to express the right prayer. So they said, let's put together a list of prayers that we know we're going to take into account everything that a human needs. And we're going to put it together, use the best words possible. And this way, everyone is going to have the text. They can just use it and instead of having to worry about composing their own prayers. So that's great. And we have that 3 times a day, the morning prayer, the afternoon prayer, the evening prayers. In Yom Kippur, we have 5 prayers. Shabbat, we have different prayers as well. But what happens is, if you're a religious person and you're saying this text on a regular basis, a lot of times it just becomes like a repetitive, you're able to actually say the entire text of prayer and praying to God and not pay attention to what you are saying, right? That's the reality. If you're saying it every day on a regular basis, the same text, nothing is changing. So I can say it again and again and again and forget what I'm saying. Now, this is not how it's supposed to be. Actually, the way it's supposed to be is you're supposed to pay attention. And because of that, in Hasidus, in Chabad, but not only in Chabad, actually the code of Jewish law, Shulchan Aruch, is speaking about how you should spend some time before prayer to prepare yourself mentally, to understand that prayer is an experience. Prayer is not a task. Prayer is not something you're supposed to say only. You're supposed to connect with the words. You're supposed to experience it on the inside. And that's what prayer is all about. So this song is really a beautiful song, and I will play it now. It's a bit long, but it's really trying to bring the experience of prayer, pre-prayer, and then after the prayer. There is the idea of having a farbrengen. We have by us in the Chabad of Hackensack, if you ever came, you know that after davening and Shabbat morning, we sit together and we sing Hasidic songs, and we have some food, and we have some l'chaim, and we have a great time. It's called a farbrengen. So this song is kind of like taking you through from all the stages, from getting ready to pray, and then the prayer itself, and then what happens afterwards. So let's give a watch. Really, again, a beautiful song. Here we go.
Chayim v'rtzoi noi bo'erev yolin b'chi v'laboiker yino v'laboiker yino
V'ani omarti v'shavalvi ba'alem oit le'yilom amamaya V'ani omarti v'shalvi ba'alem oit le'yilom
Hashem b'ritzoin choem adeto leharriois Oy Hashem b'ritzoin choem adeto leharriois Oy istato fonech oy isini Mama ya elo Ilecho Hashem ekro V'yel Hashem eschanon Yamama Ilecho Hashem ekro V'yel Hashem eschanon Ma betza bedo mi berideti el shachas Ma betza bedo mi berideti el shachas Ayay decho for ayagi davidecho ya baba ya ilara Shma Hashem echoneyeni Hashem ye'ozerni Amamaya Shma Hashem echoneyni Hashem ye'ozerni Ki rega b'yapoi chayim v'rtzoi noi bo'erev yolin b'chi v'laboiker ולבויקרינו כי רגע ביפוי חיים לרצוינוי בערב יולין בכי ולבויקרינו ואני אמרתי ושלבי Ba'alemoit liyo yilo Yamamai V'ani omarti v'shalvi Ba'alemoit liyo yilo Hashem b'ritzo encho emareto leharriois Hashem b'ritzo encho emareto leharriois Istarta fanecho isini Yamamaya elarao Eilecho Hashem ekro V'yel Hashem Oy lech Hashem ekro vel Hashem eschano.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the video, this song, this is called Nigun, as much as I did. I'll give you the background of this special song. We spoke about the idea of praying and how prayer should be done and how it should not be a task what we just have to do and just say the text, but actually really be kind of like get lost inside prayer. Saying the words, really understanding them, feeling them, being inside the experience of prayer. So there was this chassid that lived in Kfar Chabad, and he used to pray every day for hours, literally hours. And I want to speak about a little bit about this idea of praying for hours, because you say, okay, you open the prayer book, how long can praying take? You say the words, you go through all the words, all the motions, and that's it. But he would actually sit in the synagogue from early in the morning, and read every word slowly and patiently, but not only slowly. I will tell you, I remember I think I was 14 or 15 years old. I was in yeshiva. And one day, the teacher called us and said, I think you guys are old enough to start davening be'avoida. That was the expression that he used. What is davening be'avoida? Davening be'avoida means to pray. So avoida is an expression, Hasidic expression, that means avodat hatfilah, or serving Hashem through prayer. Now, again, you have to understand for many, many years, and many holy people, good people, and scholarly people will do it. It's a mitzvah. There's a mitzvah to pray to God. There's a mitzvah to say the daily prayer 3 times a day. So they would do it. But like I said, how long can it take, right? You're reading the words, you're saying what you're supposed to say, and you move on. But then, when it came to Chabad Hasidim, not only then, but they revitalized the idea of really spending your going into the prayer. Again, like I said, getting lost in the words. It's tough for us to even understand what does that mean to get lost in the word. But if you're spending enough time preparing yourself mentally and emotionally to the experience, and you think of prayer as don't look at prayer as, oh, I need to do it. Or don't even look at prayer as, I'm going to come to God with a long list of, like a laundry list of what I need, which is what most people think of prayer. What do you think prayer is, right? I'm asking you, what is prayer for you? Pray to God. What does pray to God means? Pray to God means I'm going to ask God for something. If I need something and I don't have it, I'm going to pray to God. Okay, I need help, I'm going to pray to God. So prayer by us, we think that prayer is almost like submission of a application to a degree, right? We are asking God, give me A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Give me whatever I need. But the truth is, this is not what prayer is all about. What prayer is really all about is about the connection. It says that the word tefillah, which is prayer, also comes from the same idea of tofel, which is tofel klei cheres, which means to connect. And you have right now an opportunity to connect with God. So yeah, ask for what you need. For sure, ask for whatever you need. But at the same time, before you embark on this experience of you are going to face God himself. Now, how far is a human being from God? God is this awesome, almighty, infinite, and the human being is so small, like a little speck of dust, not even. And I have right now the opportunity to connect with God and to go to God and speak to him directly. That should have a strong impact on how we look at the words of prayer. And so The way Hasidim viewed prayer, and this is exactly the way that my rabbi in the yeshiva back then, when I was 15 years old, wanted us to view it and to have the same attitude, is that it's not only you come, you say the words. You have to, first of all, you have to do proper preparation. You have to study before. You have to prepare yourself. You have to spend a lot of emotional energy and learn about God and to try to awaken a sense of awe. I'm going right now before God. And then when you pray, to say every word. And then sometimes, like this Chassid that would sit in Kfar Chabad for hours, when he would say a word, for him that word meant so much. And he would sometimes, instead of just saying the word, he would sing it. And this song we just watched was just a beautiful song that he connected the words of the prayer to a different song, Nigun, and this is what came out, which I thought was really, really powerful. Speaking of prayer, did you know that according to research, people that are praying to God have a lower level of anxiety? Oftentimes I think that we as a society, we are very busy looking for cure for all kinds of illnesses and all kinds of problems. Everyone is looking for cure, right? How are we going to cure that problem, the other problem? But we are not investing enough time in actually preventive medicine. And instead of trying to cure the problem after the problem was created, to find how to make sure that the problem is not going to happen in the first place. And that's a big problem. I'm thinking even about COVID-19, right? I read that Dr. Fauci said that he's taking every day, I think it was vitamin D, maybe, vitamin or something. And he said that research proved that taking that vitamin is actually helpful to people to have less severe kind of infection of COVID-19. And then I started researching it, and indeed, there's a lot of research being said and being done how there's that particular vitamin, again, I think it was called vitamin D, is helpful to people to battle with COVID, or people that have higher levels of sufficient vitamin D in their blood. They have better outcome of COVID-19. And I asked myself, if that's the case, again, I'm not a doctor, if that's the case, why people don't talk enough about it? Because if that can be helpful to people, why wait for people to actually get the disease and then say, oh, we have a problem. Now we have to find out what's the solution. How about try to prevent that problem from the beginning? So if you go back to the topic, again, you look on faith, you look on how research have shown that having faith is reducing anxiety, and people that are more, either they go on a regular basis to pray, they do it together with a community. And yeah, this is like a hidden plug-in. If you would like to come to Chabad of Hackensack to join us for Shabbat, you're always more than welcome, but it's not the point. The point is, if people are participating, people are practicing faith, people are coming together to practice the faith together, they have lower level of anxiety, they have better life expectancy. So why don't we all, and the sad part is that unfortunately, in Western society, those things are actually in decline. Less people are practicing faith. Less people are attending regular prayers, whatever it is, whichever religion, whichever place they're coming from. And it's, you think about it, even forget about the idea, the religious idea of coming to it, even just as a way to prevent anxiety and to have a better peace of mind. And obviously that makes a lot of sense, because if you have faith, you know that you are not in control of everything which is going to happen. If you are less in control, you know that you can relax more and be worried less. And that helps, because most anxieties are starting from being worried about different things. Sometimes things that minor, sometimes things that might happen or might not happen. But that's the cause for most anxieties. But if you have faith and you say, hey, God runs the world, and there's that much I can do, again, going back to what we said before, you're supposed to do your best, you're supposed to work hard, You're supposed to do everything you can within your power to do as much as you can, but at the same time realizing that there's a limit to how much you can do. And at some point, as much as you're going to do, the results are not going to be in your hand. The results are going to be in God's hands. So then you can be a little bit more relaxed and less worried and less concerned and less try to control what exactly is going to happen. I want to share with you a beautiful story to illustrate this point. One of my favorite stories. I think I heard it when I was a child, and I read it a few times since then. Really, really nice story. So the Baal Shem Tov, the very famous Baal Shem Tov, once traveled with his Hasidim. He used to travel a lot with his group of his very close students, and they would go all kind of places. They will never know what's the point of them going there. But one time the Baal Shem Tov said, look, I want to teach you today what is true faith is. I'm going to take you to a special place. And they said, all right, they're going into the wagon, driving for a while. They have no clue where they are, ending up in a little inn somewhere. And the Baal Shem Tov knocks on the door. And the innkeeper was a Jewish man. And him, together with his wife, were running this inn. Baal Shem Tov says, can I stay in your inn? Sure, 100%. Okay, come in. Morning time. It was morning time. Baal Shem Tov says, would you mind if you prepare breakfast for us? By all means, we will pay you. All right. They're having breakfast. They're sitting together. They're eating. He's the nicest host you ever can have. Always looking, what else can I give you? How can I serve you? How is everything? Everything is great. Making sure they have the bagels and the cream cheese and the orange juice, mind you. They probably had none of that back then in the time of the Baal Shem Tov. But all right, they made sure they had whatever was good back then. And then in the middle of the meal, the door opens up and a police officer walks in. And he bangs on the table 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. And he walks out. Now, the Baal Shem Tov's disciples were startled, they were, what was that all about? And they asked the host, what's going on? Is everything okay? Can we help you? And the host was the calmest person. He says, don't worry, it's all fine. It's okay, just ignore. It's fine. Let's continue, have a good time together here. And they finish eating. And then after eating, the Baal Shem Tov said, can we stay for a couple more hours? By all means. And they learned together. And the host was very happy to host a group of, seems to be holy people, learning and praying together. Very much like that idea. And around noontime, the door opens up again. And the police officer is back in. And he walks to the table again. And it goes bang on the table 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. And that was already second time. And he said, no, ignore, don't worry about it. I'm telling you, it's all fine. Let's continue doing what we are doing. And they were trying to talk to him, what's going on? But he's like, don't worry. But they felt something is happening here. But they couldn't tell what it is. They had no clue. First time in the inn. Afternoon time, he's serving them lunch, dinner, whatever it was, evening time. And they're sitting together, they're eating, again, having a great time, sharing some words of Torah, some songs, Hasidic songs. And the police officer is going back straight inside. Bang, bang, bang. And this time, the students of the Baal Shem Tov said, okay, you have to tell us what's going on, because clearly something is happening and you are hiding it from us. And we want to know what's going on. We are concerned for you. We are worried. What is happening? And they tell them, okay, I will tell you. Here's exactly what's happening. My rent for the inn is due. I have to go to the ports and pay my rent. And this police officer is giving me a reminder. That was 3 reminders, right? First in the morning, then noontime, then towards the evening. But I have till sunset tonight to bring the money and to pay my rent. If not, I'm going to be evicted. Besides being evicted, I also might be arrested. And this is why the police officer is coming. So they tell him, all right, so why do you like to push things till the last minute? Whenever you get a bill and there's like a due date, so some people like to pay right away, and some people they give you the option if you want to wait till the last minute. So like last minute, pay it a couple of hours earlier instead of having this guy coming in and disturbing you, disturbing us. And for sure, your kids don't like to look at it. No one likes it. So he looks at them confused. He's like, what do you mean? Why I did not go to pay? I don't have the money. So now it was their turn to be confused. You don't have the money, and you sit here as calm as if nothing happened. You have only, another hour left. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? And he told them, I have full trust in Hashem that everything is going to be fine. They were shocked. They never saw such a thing in their life. To see someone that he knows quite well that is about to be evicted, might be arrested, who knows about what might happen to him. And yet at the same time, he's still very calm, is able to host them and entertain them and provide them everything that they need. And not to see even a little shred, a little worry on his face. It's just like everything is so fine. They were waiting to see what is going to happen. They could not believe their own eyes. And then the innkeeper, the sun was about to set, a couple of more minutes left. The innkeeper is putting his jacket on and is about to leave the house. So they tell him, where are you going? He says, I'm going to the poet's house. The poet's house was like on top of a hill, and the inn was on the bottom of the hill. He said, I'm going over there to the mansion over there to. So like, you're going for what? You have no money. Yeah, I have no money, but I'm going. If I need to go, I'm going. The students like watching through the window to see what is going to happen because they were so curious and fascinated by that. And they see him walking up the hill. All of a sudden, a wagon comes to the inn. And a person jumps out and is like, where is the innkeeper? It's like, oh, he's over there. All right. He's chasing him with the horses, goes to him. And they have a little bit of a conversation. And then seems to be the new guy that came, the wagon driver, seemed to be unimpressed. And he's leaving. And the innkeeper continues walking. A few minutes later, the wagon is back. The wagon driver is jumping out of the wagon, speaking with the innkeeper again. They have their conversation. They're shaking hands. The guy takes out like a big, nice pack of whatever they had back then. Rubles, coins, papers. I don't know what they had back then, probably coins. And he's handing it to the innkeeper and drives back. And the innkeeper continues on his way, goes there, goes to the poet's house, and comes back. They wanted to know what's the story, what happened. So the innkeeper said, well, I just paid my rent in full. And they asked him what happened. So he said, here what happened. This guy that came, the wagon driver, is a beer seller. He's always buying beer from me. And he came to me because he wanted to buy beer. And I told him that by all means, he wanted to make an order. I said 100% we could make an order. But this time I want the entire payment in advance. And he did not want to, because usually he gives me just a small amount in advance and then he gives me the rest later. But I needed the entire amount because that was my rent. So I insisted. I said, listen, if you want to place the order, you have to give me the entire payment in advance. And he said, no, not interested. He left. Then he came back and he said, I thought about it. You're an honest man. I know you for a long time. Your beer is great. I would like to do business with you. You asked me for the money. I guess you need it. I trust you. Here is the full amount. And then I was able to go and pay my full rent to the poets. And the Baal Shem Tov told the students later afterwards, he says, if you want to have a lesson what faith looks like, you should look on this person. If you want to know what does that mean to really have faith, that the literal translation of faith means that you are placing, you are kind of like, it's like a surrender. You, instead of thinking, I know what's going to happen and I have to plan and I have to be in control and I have to have the full understanding and the full game plan and know in advance. Having faith means that in the end of the day, your fate is in the hand of God. You still have to do your best. This person worked very hard. He had the inn. He was hosting people. He was selling whatever he was selling. He was having people staying by him and charging the money and trying to make a little bit of few dollars here, a few rubles here and there. He was doing his best. Look, he was not successful. We all know sometimes what we do is not successful, right? We all know that not everything that we plan is working according to the plan. And many times different things happen. Most times, not even under our control, not because we did something wrong. They're happening just because they're happening. But then if you know that in the end of the day, it's not you deciding what is going to happen, but it's God deciding what is going to happen, it's such a relief because it takes away such a big burden of, I have to make sure things are going well. and it's changing it to, I have to do my best. And that's it. If I did my best, I invested energy, my talents, my ability, my connection, whatever it is. I'm doing whatever I can to accomplish whatever I need to accomplish. I do my best, but then at the same time, I can just look at God and say, you know, you do the rest. I'm going to share with you now another music song, really beautiful. It's in English, but it's actually performed by a group of kids from Rostov, which is in Russia. And they have some Russian over there as well. And the idea of the song is to say thank you, God, to recognize that we have such a great life, to always look on the cup and look on the half full and not on the half empty. I'm having here a cup of tea. I don't know if you can see what it says over here. My favorite one. We gave it before Purim. Maybe we should do it again. See, it says over here. I think it comes out like the opposite. Not sure. Let's see. Here. Think good and it will be good. You have to look at the cup, not only at the coffee cup, but look on a cup of life and say, you know, we have so much. We have so much to be thankful for. We really do. Really, really do. And just to focus on that. So let's look at this music song, and I hope you will enjoy it. And we will continue talking a little bit afterwards. So here we go.
I see the sun come up this morning. I hear my children laughing as they play. The trees start singing with that warning. It's gonna be a wonderful day.
You know I got no patience for complaining. To stop it quick with all the bills I have to pay. Cause even there should be sunshine but it's raining. My feet will dance, we do the crash anyway. So many shmans, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
The blessings are coming, but you keep on running. Just stop and sing.
Раз, два, три.
Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. Life is good, life is great. It's a chance to celebrate. Хорошо, хорошо, it's a party, it's a ball. And ain't nothing gonna get me down and low. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. Life is good, life is great. It's a chance to celebrate. Хорошо, хорошо, it's a party, it's a ball. And that's really the words, they say it all. Хорошо. Хорошо, 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 слава Богу, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо.
Мы каждый год любимый праздник отмечаем. И свет огней приносит людям благодать. Шамаш горит уже, он Хануку встречает. И этот свет готовы людям мы отдать. И свято верим мы, что день такой настанет, когда евреи Богом избранный народ своим теплом душевный мир наш озаряя, из темноты дорогу к свету приведет. Мои друзья, Барух Хашем, моя семья, Барух Хашем.
Желаем вам счастья, здоровья во все времена. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. Все бегом, не нора, и, конечно, вся семья.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this little song. It's always fascinating to watch. This video was coming from Russia, and you think about how not that long ago it was a place where to have Jews singing in public Jewish songs would be completely unheard of. And now they're having this beautiful show that's, I think, from Hanukkah actually last year, not so long ago. They're having it together. It's always really something very touching. I'm always very much in awe of those couples, the Chabad couples that open Chabad houses in those remote places. And I'm going to use the opportunity to invite all of you to join us. We are going to have a special event with the Chabad rabbi from Cambodia, good friend of mine, my classmate, but is going to speak about what does that mean to be. Is the first and only rabbi in Cambodia. There was never, ever a rabbi before him. And obviously, no one else is there besides him. So that means if you are the rabbi, it's not only that you are the rabbi, you're also the school director, you are the kosher food seller and importer and everything in between. You have to literally take care of everything from A to Z. It's challenging. This is something, when I was a young yeshiva student, we used to do that a lot. He used to pair you with another yeshiva student. And we used to spend sometimes even a few weeks, 4 weeks together in a place where you have completely no kosher food. My first experience was in a city called Ufa in Russia. I remember how I was 16 years old and we went together for an entire month, and we got a budget to go and spend to buy ourselves kosher food. And we simply had no clue what to buy. We spent a lot of snacks, and completely ridiculous because you don't know what to buy. But then later, if you're doing it again and again and again, you start realizing there's certain foods you should be investing in. You want to have a lot of canned food. You want to have a lot of matzah. Why? Because the matzah is very durable, and crackers. And you start putting together whatever it is. Now, to have someone that is living there with his family, the dedication that him and his wife have, it's simply unbelievable. Really, really, really impressive. So we are going to have him, I believe, in 2 weeks. I will be sending an email. If you're not on the email list, you can either leave your email address, send me a message, private message on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will be glad to notify you whenever whenever we're going to be starting that program, which is going to be very, very soon. But yeah, when you are so many people, so many Jews discover their connection to Judaism when they are far, physically, remotely, when they are going to all these kind of faraway places. People that, maybe I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler. The rabbi from Vietnam told me about so many people that are coming from Brooklyn, right? You would expect them, they grew up in a very Jewish neighborhood, and yet they are discovering the Judaism in Vietnam. Why? Because when you go far, all of a sudden you're starting to get even more close. And I think if we translate it to our life, that means if you're going far in our challenges, that means it's an opportunity for us to get even closer to God, even more than we did before. So with that, we are going to have one more song before we say goodbye for the night. And I hope you will enjoy that song as well. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. And we're going to finish with one more song. And I wish you good night, and I wish our country only good on so many levels. Whatever happens, we are all together. Whatever happens, we all have a common, most important thing, we were all created by one God. And we should always remember that. So one last song for tonight. And with that, we are going to conclude. And thank you for joining. If you enjoyed, please drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Have a good night. Here is the last song before we say goodbye.
זמירות ושירים תהרוג
אבנים זמירויס ושירים אלרוי כי לבבכו נפשי סברוי
נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך
נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך אבנים זמירויס ושירים אלרוי כי לבבכו נפשי סברוי
אבנים זמירות ושירים ארוג כי אליך נפשי תהרוג נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך
נפשי חמדה בצל ידך לדעת כל רסודך נפשי חמדה